take 2 tayo. Alright, so good evening. Um, good day everyone. And we are here to present to you the continuation of the report of Group 4 headed by Miss Gadia with her team, Miss Clemente and Miss Magno. They will be discussing the continuation of Chapter 5, Staffing for Service, from the subject of Quality Service Management in Tourism and Hospitality. Alright, so Miss Clemente, if I'm not mistaken, you are the one to present the topic, right? Alright, so Miss Clemente, please take it away.
Okay, let's start. The continuation of our topic about external recruitment, external strategy, hiring external strategies po, as the first one is advertising. So, the first strategy sa paghahanap ng external candidate is public advertising. Although there is much discussion of how the internet is replacing print media, help-wanted advertisement are still very common method for advertising. So in addition, sa pag-advertise or advertising in newspapers, magazines, at sa weekly targeting potential employees, may mga recruiters din or mga agresibong recruiters na gumagamit din ng iba pang creative na paraan para lang ma-reach yung mga tao na hindi nakabasa or hindi nakakita ng post nila or announcement nila through any social media platforms. So para din na just in case magbago or mabuhayan yung mindset nila, lalo na dun sa mga taong walang balak or wala sa isip nila na magtrabaho. So, just as marketers segment their markets to find likely candidates for their products and services, recruitment managers increasingly segment their markets to reach and attract job candidates. So the term market segment refers to people na ginugroup together para sa marketing purposes. For example nito is sa kiosk, or ito yung ginagamit ng ibang employers para ma-reach yung ibang mga job hunters in a more simple manner. Yung kiosk din yung primarily na ginagamit for business purposes. So another is yung pagpabahay-bahay po ng another strategy is another term din yung pagbabahay-bahay ng hindi pala, sorry, iba pala yun. Yung mga yung sa kiosk na naghahanap sila ng employees in public places. For example, when the Wynn Hotel in Las Vegas was opening a sister property in Coeur, it needed to hire for every position roughly 6,000 new employees, including room concierge, dealers, room attendants, management staff, security, and valet. So as part of their recruitment, meron silang strategy na ginamit para sa paghahanap ng mga job and ng mga employees. Planes flew up and down the California coast, leaving messages over every major beach and even over a Los Angeles Angels versus Boston Red Sox baseball game. So, ito nga yung strategy nila is gumamit sila ng skywriting doon mismo sa coastal area ng California, na para yung strategy na to ginamit nila para ma-attract yung interest ng mga employees na nandoon sa coastal area na yun. So, dahil sa paggamit nila ng unique na strategy na to, sa paggamit nila ng skywriting, they receive over 25,000 applications on the first day, and they would have received more not the sheer volume of response across their service. So, sabihin na natin yung iba dun sa mga tao na yun sa call center is hindi inisip na magtrabaho or walang plano para magtrabaho sa company na yun. Until nung nakita nila or narinig nila yung ads na nag-suggest sa kanila into a intriguing opportunity. The internet. Another strategy is in the internet. So, the widespread use and accessibility of the internet has turned internet recruiting into a multi-billion-dollar industry. Companies can use internet job sites like monsters to advertise their positions. So, job seekers examine what is available din at titignan din ang iba pang information on jobs that interest them. Yung method, yes. The internet also helps to flip employees to jobs and companies they want. Unlike some websites that only post openings like a modern help wanted section, some others ask job seekers questions to assess their fitness for positions or about what they are looking for a new position. So may mga ibang sites or agencies online na tumutulong sa ibang job seekers na makahanap ng trabaho. May mga questions during sa pagtulong nila, may mga questions din silang kailangan sagutin para mapadali ang paghahanap ng trabaho nila. Questions regarding for positions or kung anong trabaho ang hinahanap nila. After collecting information sa mga job hunters, ipo-forward nila ito sa ibang company just in case may mga vacant positions sila na swak dun sa mga hinahanap ng applicants, ng mga candidates. Some companies have developed Facebook, LinkedIn, and MySpace pages as part of their recruiting efforts. These efforts help employers find and attract young, tech-savvy candidates and may make some employers stand out from their competitors, at least until all companies start recruiting this way. Companies with blogs and web pages, Companies with blogs and web pages must update their content continuously or they won't look credible. So karamihan sa ngayon regarding hiring for a vacant position ng isang company is makikita sa Facebook. So yun, mapapansin din natin na may mga pages na kung saan pwede ka mag-join at try to browse kung may nakapost na hiring para sa hinahanap mong trabaho. For example, sa Cavite is yung sa EPSA, mayroon silang pages. May page sila kung saan pwedeng mag-post doon yung mga company kung ano yung mga position ng trabaho na hinahanap nila sa mga employees. So, sa panahon ngayon, ito rin yung mas madaling paraan ng paghahanap ng trabaho. Lalo na yung kasagsagan ng pandemic. Doon naghahanap ang karamihan, like example sa page na may pangalang hospitality problems. Hindi lang puro sharing of knowledges about hospitality industry ang mga kundi nag-upload din sila ng mga updated request post for a job, or more specifically yung mga trabaho abroad.
Yeah, that's correct. No, nowadays, the internet is the most powerful. Actually, I think it's in more aspects, not only for hiring these people, but well, since ito yung topic natin, hiring the right people, or ayun. Yeah, we are using internet for for collecting app.
Sa Pilipinas, 76 years old sa isang branch sa Maynila ata yung sa Padre Rada branch. At hindi lang mga senior citizens, they're also accepting PWDs. Meron din akong nakita sa balita or sa post ata yun sa Facebook na meron silang deaf na may hire. So, organizations that originally recruited older people because of labor shortages ay minsan found to their pleasant surprise that their older employees not only have better attendance records than younger employees, but they bring an enthusiasm for experience in helping and interacting with us. That makes them great customer-focused employees. So the next strategy is professional network and placement services. Successful hospitality managers join professional organizations to find both good employees and good ideas about how to find good employees. So the amount of movement back and forth across hospitality organizations cause their professional networks na maging strong and informative. May mga organizations na nagsisik para ma-represent ang entire industry, like the organization na Hotel and Restaurant Association of the Philippines. Tapos, like, segment within the industry specific professions like Society of Human Resource Management. Next. While jobs can be found in many ways, networking is still one of the most effective to find out about potential jobs and potential employees, network, and enable the personal face-to-face connections. So, through networking, you will have the chance to interact with people in hospitality and tourism industry who are farther along in their careers than you. So, may mga hospitality managers na nag-join sa isang networking company kasi doon mayroong mga employees na willing magtrabaho sa industry at ang mga employees na yun nagigain ng mga experiences doon sa mga ahead sa kanila pagdating sa hospitality industry. Next po. Student recruiting. The most common recruiting strategy is the traditional campus visit by a company recruiter. The institution's placement office schedules eligible students to meet the recruiter and provides an interview space on campus. So may mga company recruiter na pumupunta sa schools for some interview, commonly sa mga graduating students. Depende din upon they are accepting students na gusto mag-part-time. So, yung ibang school din is nagre-refer sila ng mga student na alam nilang eligible na magtrabaho. Recruiter may interview graduating senior applicants for full-time jobs and undergraduates for summer internships. A variation on this idea is the job fair, where many employers come to the campus on the same day and set up booths where they can meet with potential employees. So there are times na nagkakandak ang isang school ng job fair which is nag-invite sila ng mga employers para ma-meet yung mga estudyante sa loob ng campus nila, lalo na sa mga graduating students na gustong mag-apply for a job. Stations can sometimes get students to work for them as part of the school experience, such as co-op internship or work experience programs. Nearly all hospitality programs, most schools of business, some other academic majors, and many high schools and junior colleges encourage their students to get some real-world work experience while they are taking an academic course of work. Ito yung may mga organizations na may partner sa may ito yung mga organizations na may partner na school, lalo na yung mga malalaking schools. And nag-offer ng on-the-job training sa kanilang company. So, during internship, dito nila ina-observe yung skills and abilities ng isang student. Tapos, for example, yung Cornell University's School of Hotel Administration na nagre-require ng 800 hours in the hospitality field before graduation. Ito yung isang requirement din para makagraduate yung isang estudyante.
Nako, isa din yan sa magiging requirements ninyo para bago graduate ng hospitality management. So, mostly yan, i-deploy kayo sa different, hindi kayo magkakasama sa isang hotel or restaurant. Iba-iba yan. Depende sa location ninyo and depende rin sa performance ninyo sa school. No?
Sir,
Yes.
pwede po magtanong?
Yes, sure. Ano lang tayo, magkukwentuhan lang tayo dito. Okay, kahit yung mga yung mga si Miss Gadja at saka si Miss si Miss Magno, pwede naman kayo mag-butt in. For example, may gusto kayong i-share na share na idea, pwede yan, walang problema. Yes, Miss Clemente, ano pong question niyo?
Ano po your, sir, sa internship period po? Ano po, kayo po ba yung magbibigay sa amin kung saan kami i-deploy po? Or depende po sa amin kung may nahanap po kaming hospitality industry sector po, sir?
Well, actually, si Ma'am Ria o ang ating dean ang magde-decide dyan. Okay? So, ngayon, first year to second year, I think wala pa siyang hawak sa inyo. Pero pagdating nyo ng third year and fourth year, yan, meron na, magiging teacher nyo din siya. Okay?
Kasi po, sir, may po sa akin, sir, nagtatrabaho po sa Diamond
Hotel. Wow! Okay.
Sabi niyo po, just in case po na kami po yung maghanap ng pag-internship namin. Isabihin ko lang daw po sa kanya.
Okay. Well, actually, parang ganito, ikukwento ko sa inyo yung nangyari sa akin nung internship ko. Okay. So, si Ma'am Ria is, meron niyang mga industry partners. Okay? Like for example, yung hotel namin dito sa Tagaytay. Okay? Meron kaming agreement that the hotel or the company can accept students, OJT students na manggagaling sa TMCC. Okay? So we're one. Okay? At marami pa yung iba. So during my time, meron sa akin inassign si Ma'am Ria. However, naging impatient ako kasi during our time, October yung start ng second semester . So October, November, December na wala pa akong hindi pa ako tinatawagan nung inassign sa aking hotel. So naging impatient ako and so I look for hotels around dito sa Tagaytay since dito lang din naman ako in-endorse ni Ma'am Ria. So naghanap ako ng and then luckily nakahanap ako ng isang hotel na nag-a-accept din sila ng sabi ko kay Ma'am Ria, kinausap ko siya, Ma'am Ria, dito na lang po ako sa Days Hotel dito sa Tagaytay. O sige, hihingi lang po ako ng recommendation letter, yan. So yun, doon ako doon ako nag OJT. So in your case, depende pa rin yan kasi iniisip din ni Ma'am Ria kung gaano ka kalayo from the industry establishment na pag-OJT-han mo. But if you can assure na mas strategic or mas advisable or mas magaan para sa iyo na doon ka mag-OJT, may matutuluyan ka doon. For example, may kamag-anak ka or you have someone na kakilala na matutuluyan mo doon. I don't think magiging hahadlang doon si Ma'am Ria, or hindi papayag si Ma'am Ria kasi unang-una Diamond Hotel 'yon, no? Um, hindi 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 I don't know pero wala siya yata sa listahan ng mga industry partners kasi syempre ang Diamond Hotel nasa Manila yan di ba? So, yun. Depende pa rin yun sa ano. But you can talk to our dean. Pwede nyo naman yan pag-usapan.
Hindi lang po ba hotel, sir? Mga resorts po, pwede po nga.
Yes, pwedeng resorts, restaurants. Before kasi, dun sa old curriculum, second year, merong OJT, 200 hours sa restaurant. And then sa fourth year, ang OJT nyo is, I think, it was 500 or to 600 hours sa hotel naman or sa resort. Pero ngayon, sa curriculum nyo, I think it's 600 to 800. Nagre-range doon. Hindi ko alam, hindi ko kabisado yung ano eh. It's either hotel or resort pwede.
Yun po ba yung, sir, yung may nakita po kasi akong kaklase ko po dati na may natanggap po silang certificate, second year pa lang po sila.
Yun. So, makakatanggap sila ng certificate that they completed the OJT for second year for 250 or 200 hours yata.
Okay po, sir. Thank you po. The START organizations, however, keep a close eye on these student employees and make sure that impressive student workers know of the company's interest. So, kapag na-impress sila sa skills ng isang student employee, nag-offer sila ng scholarships or put them in a special work experience para ma-prepare sila to be fully trained employees pagka-graduate. So,
yun din yung ano, ay sorry, sige.
Sige po.
Hindi, yun din yung ano, yung kagandahan kapag naging maganda yung performance mo. Pwede kang ma-absorb ng ano, ng hotel or na pinag-OJT-han mo. Okay, dun sa ano ko, sa batch ko, I think marami din kami na ano. Hindi pala ako, sorry. Madami din pala silang na ano, na inabsorb ng company na pinag-OJT nila kasi maganda yung performance nila.
The point is that student recruitment programs can be designed and used to get not only employees who learn, earn, and contribute to the business today, but also employees who will be eager to stay in the industry tomorrow upon graduation. So, student recruitment is not only para sa mga gustong mag-earn ng money. Gusto rin nilang magtrabaho para din makita nila kung yung student ba is gusto mag-apply after. Nag-recruit din sila or nagtatanggap din sila ng internship para makita kung student ba is gusto mag-apply after graduation. Just in case during internship marami silang matutunan and alam nila yung environment ng isang establishment. Employee referrals. So, another large and successful source of employees for many hospitality organizations is referrals by current employees. A great way to get the kind of new employees you want is to ask your star employees to find them. So, yun yung nandun sa una nating diniscuss nung kahapon na mayroong mga employee na nagre-refer sa manager na halimbawa may kakilala ganun na pwede kong ipasok sa posisyon na to si ano kasi alam ko na kaya niya. So a bonus of this strategy is that existing employees who bring in their friends feel responsible for them and their performance. So kapag napasok ka dahil sa ni-refer ka, responsible yung nag-refer sa'yo, responsible yung kumuha sa'yo na i-discuss sa'yo lahat from mission vision, ganun, tas mga rules and regulations sa loob ng company. So, the reward may reward din siya pagka, may iba kasi na binibigyan ng reward yung nag-refer. It could be money or it could be something else na may value sa employees such as meron ding weekend trip to a nice resort area, meron ding dinner at a special place or some other inducement. Employers of choice. A company's reputation can also aid in recruitment. Publications like Fortune Magazine, Fortune Small Business, and HR Magazine list companies that they evaluate to be employers of choice. Yung example po kasi dun sa PDF na nabigay is yung Marriott's hotel ba yun? Marriott's ganun. Tapos yung Southwest Airlines.
Mhm.
So, yung nandun kasi nakalagay na Marriott employees show their spirit to serve by contributing to local charitable causes as well as Southwest Airlines. Nagde-demonstrate sila ng company support of its people, tapos community, environment, tapos make for good public relations din. Para pagkakalam ko, sa idea ko lang po, para makita at malaman ng ibang applicants na maganda ang samahan at pamamalakad ng dalawang company na to dahil nga meron nga silang charitable causes, tapos this way magiging maganda yung image nila sa public at dadami ang willing na mag-apply sa kanila, which is choice ng mga employees na mag-apply.
Yeah. Dito sa employer of choice, sinasabi lang dito that each company kasi may reputation nga na tinatawag, no? So, if, for example, si TMCC, nagpadala ng mga OJTs here sa Carmelens, and then it turned out that in 3-4 consecutive years na nagpapadala ang TMCC sa Carmelens ng OJT nila, nagiging maganda yung outcome ng performance. Like for example, kasi meron sa graduation day ninyo, nag-award kasi usually si department natin ng best in OJT. Okay? Based doon sa performance evaluation ng company, ng pinag-OJT-han nyo, plus kung wala bang reklamo si company sa performance ninyo. Okay? And so, kapag gano'n ang nangyayari, mas tumataas yung reputation ng isang kumpanya.
Some hospitality organizations rely extensively on walk-ins. Here, they have a significant advantage over the manufacturing and industrial sector. Almost anyone can casually walk into a hotel or restaurant and get a pretty good idea of what it might be like to work there. So may mga hospitality organizations na nag-entertain applicants on walk-ins. In this way, magkakaroon ng idea ang mga applicants at syempre pagpunta nila doon, nakikita nila kung ano yung status ng environment na gusto nilang, ng isang company na gusto nilang pagtrabahuan. And in this way also, makikita ng employer kung gaano sila ka-willing na pumasok sa company. So walk-ins din, yun yung yung gusto mo talagang malaman kung there's a chance ba na makakapasok ka sa company. And gusto mo na talagang magtrabaho, kaya mag-i-initiate ka talaga na pumunta. Kaya ini-entertain din nila. Karamihan din ini-entertain ang walk-ins kasi may effort sila na basitahin yung company. So, the competition. Scott Gross adds another strategy. Seek out excellent employees in similar service jobs elsewhere. Again, unlike the manufacturing sector, where a potential employer is not going to walk in and watch the best workers on a competitor's factory assembly line, watching customer contact employees do their jobs in the hospitality industry is easy. Gross hands his business card. For example, Gross hands his business card to those who really impress impress him and tells them to come see him if they are interested in another job. Hiring people because you saw them working well elsewhere has the advantage of starting off the new relationship on the right footing. We all know naman na we all know naman na everyone likes to be recognized. And if by asking people to consider a job opportunity, you do a better job of organizing them than their boss has done, you may very well land some excellent candidates.
Ayan. So, in competition, and since there are a lot of people that are looking for a job, okay, so may competition pa rin, hindi lang sa ibang sector, lalong-lalo na sa ating industry. So, instead of waiting for that agency to call you up, might as well go to other possible company na pwede mong pag-applyan. Kasi nga, ang competition, most especially sa hospitality industry, ay hindi rin naman ganun kababa. Mataas din ang competition, most especially yung mga higher positions. Yung advantage ng yung perseverance mo to look for the right company, kaysa naghihintay ka lang sa trabaho na lumapit sa'yo, ikaw na mismo yung pumunta sa trabaho. Kasi nga, yung competition natin ay hindi ganun kababa. Mataas din siya.
Thank you, sir. Callback file. In hiring external candidates, callback file din can help easily in finding new employees. Usually, there are more applicants than positions. Companies can call unsuccessful applicants back several months later to see if they are still interested. Even applicants who drop out because they found other jobs might now be interested if the position they took didn't turn out to be what they'd hoped for. They were once interested and might be again. Pwedeng sa callback file, ito yung mga dating nag-apply sa company nyo. So, pwedeng i-contact ulit yung mga applicants na yon na yung mga hindi nagkaroon ng chance na matawagan nung time na naghahanap ng aplikante for a specific position. And dahil dyan, try to ask if willing pa sila ulit na magtrabaho sa company. And pwede din yung mga nag-drop out kasi pwede din those who drop out kasi nakapag-apply na sila for other jobs. Yung nag-aantay sila ng tawag nyo pero sa pag-aantay na yon nakahanap sila ng ibang company na pwede na lang pagtrabahuan. Sometimes kapag interested pa sila sa position na ino-offer nyo, there is still pwede pa nila tanggapin ito lalo na kapag yung desired nilang position ay hindi nila nakuha sa present company na pinagtatrabahuan nila. And then kapag nalaman nilang yung position na pinag-applyan niya sa company nyo is available pa, nasa kanya kung gusto niyang mag-resign sa company na pinagtatrabahuan niya ngayon, and then papasok siya sa company nyo, which is naghahanap kayo ng employee for that specific position. The final applicant pool. No matter how the set of applicants is acquired through internal selection via a job posting system, using the internet or through public advertising, the selection decision will come down to two factors. First, how choosy can the company be in the selection process? And second, how well can the employee's performance be predicted? Being choosy means having enough applicants apply for a position so that you can select the better ones and not hire others. Obviously, to make a decision, you need at least 2 applicants for a given position. But being picky is not enough. Kailangan mo din alamin kung sino talaga ang better employees na pipiliin mo. So, paano nga ba? So, through collecting information sa bawat applicants na pwedeng gamitin to identify, sa information na yon, pwede mong gamitin para ma-identify yung good performers and ideally the best performers. So, this process of gathering information on applicants, constitute the third steps in selection process. Next, selection process, which is the third step, select the best candidates.
Sa the final applicant tool. So sabi ni Miss Clemente, there are two factors for choosing the applicant. If the company is very choosy, they are very specific when choosing the right person to the position that is open. And number two, how the employee's performance be predicted. And so, dito sa number two, mapipredict nila yan. Kung mapapansin nyo, if you try to apply in a company or sa mga agency, may psychology test yan na tinatawag, no? And babasahin nila, ipo-profiling nila yung resume mo or yung curriculum vitae mo. Makikita nila doon or mapipredict nila ang magiging performance mo in the event na i-hire ka nila. Malalaman na ng company kung ikaw ba ay fit dito sa position na to or not. Okay? Okay po?
Yes po. Opo, sir.
Alright, so sige, pakilala mo na yung susunod na reporter.
The next reporter is Miss Magno po. Please take the stage.
The third step for the staffing services is select the best candidates. So the selection process sounds disarmingly simple. Figure out what an ideal candidate looks like, collect information on potential candidates, and select the person who best matches the ideal. So dito po sa first step po ng pag-select ng ng candidate, dapat inaalam mo na ng mabuti kung ano yung ideal candidate nila for their company na kukunin nila. At syempre, kailangan nila mag-collect or mag-gather ng information or background sa isang applicant na mag-a-apply sa kanila. And kapag nakakollect na po nila yung information niya sa bawat candidate na mag-a-apply, dun po sila pipili ng best person, kung sino po yung mas fit sa position na yun or kung sino yung mas may potential na makapasok sa position for their company. So the people hired should be able to offer the quality of service that guests expect and that makes hospitality experiences memorable. They should be able to handle the stress of providing service, especially when a service failure occurs. So yung mga tao pong hinard na, syempre dapat magaling sila magsalita, talkative, like marunong din sila mag-convince, mag-entertain ng mga customers at mag-alok ng quality of service sa mga guests or customers na hindi dapat ina-expect ng mga customers yung quality of service nila kung gaano kaganda. Kasi baka mamaya yung quality of service nila hindi pala ganun kaayos. Like, nakuha lang nila yung mga customers sa mga salita nila. And then, syempre, nag-expect yung mga customers nyo na high quality yung service nyo. Then, ayun, hindi lang dapat magaling sa salita, dapat sa gawa din. And dapat handa sila sa mga stress sa pag-service or problems at lalong-lalo na dapat mahaba yung mga pasasya nila sa pag-unawa sa mga customer, like sa mga restaurants po. So, dapat sa restaurants, dapat kaya mo i-handle yung mga stress or problems na pwedeng mangyari sa restaurants niyo. So, editorial review has deemed that any suppressed content does not materially affect that overall learning experiences. Since Sage Learning reserves the right to remove additional content at any time if subsequent rights restriction required. So, they must handle failure smoothly and successfully enough to satisfy the guest. Finally, they must act in such a way that each and every guest feels specially treated, safe, and secure. So, dito dapat masatisfy mo yung customers nyo. Like, ayun nga, sa mga restaurant, sa mga fast foods, dapat kung ano yung mga kailangan nila, dapat i-serve nyo. And yung kung ano yung mga need sila, dapat ma-assist nyo agad. Like, hindi yung inaano na sila sa inyo, tapos hindi nyo pa sila ina-assist na mabuti. So, dapat sinasatisfy nyo ng mabuti yung mga customers. Like, bigyan nila lahat ng needs nila, ganun. Anyone who has had both good and bad service experiences knows that companies perform the selection function with varying degrees of success. So dito, kapag may parang experience ka na good and bad, dapat meron ka ng negative service experiences, na yung company ay gumagamit ng factor sa pagpili na may iba't ibang antas sa pagiging success. Screening and evaluating applications. So once you know what in a candidate, you must collect information on your applicants to make the best decision. Many tools are available to help collect this information efficiently so as to make accurate hiring decisions. So once alam mo na yung gusto mo sa isang applicants, dapat mag-collect ka na ng information para makapag-decide ka na kung sino yung i-hire mo or kung i-hire mo ba to or hindi, kasi baka mamaya bigla mo na lang hinire tapos na hindi ka nag-gather ng information tapos yung nakuha mo hindi ganun kagalingan. So parang nagsisika pa, so dapat alamin mo muna yung background information ng mga applicants mo. And ayun, marami kang pwedeng tools na pwedeng makatulong sa pag-collect ng information sa mga applicants para ma-sure mo na magaling sila and ayun, masipag, pasok sa mga standards at pasok sa ideal candidate nyo sa company nyo. Pero sa pag-collect ng information, dapat it takes time. So there is first a trade that more information is collected, the better the decision can be. However, collecting more information takes both and time. So ayan, sa pag-collect ng information, syempre naglalaan ka talaga ng oras at pera. And dapat yung company mo, like maingat sa pag-evaluate sa mga applicants nila. Hindi yung basta-basta lang nila i-evaluate yung mga applicants nila tapos i-hire agad nila without thinking critically and decisions to made. So dapat maingat at masuri sila sa pag-evaluate sa mga applicants para sa pag-hire ng best person or candidate sa company nila. So ayun, companies must therefore carefully consider how they evaluate applicants in order to make efficient and effective hiring decisions. So ayun nga, dapat maingat at masuri sila sa pag-evaluate ng mga applicants para sa pag-hire po ng best person. Application form. So application form are the first screen an employer should use in deciding whom to hire. At typical application form will include the applicant's employment history, education level, and conviction record if any. So, yung application form, ito yung first screen na sinasagutan ng mga applicants or employees bago sila mag-proceed sa next step. Katulad ng yung application form, katulad sa Edu Assistance, yung mga application form na sinasagutan namin bago kami mag-proceed sa next step, para makakuha kami ng mga edu assistance. So, syempre, kailangan muna namin mag-fill up ng application form and dito nakalagay yung mga employment history, education level, etc. And yung application form is ginawa para mag-collect or mag-provide ng mga information na nagbibigay ng top 1 decision kung sino ang dapat manatili at kung sino ang tatanggalin. So the form should be designed such that the responses provide enough information to permit reasonable decision about whom to take in the poll and whom to drop. Obviously, a major trade-off is involved here. So ito nga isa tong major trade-off, and yung advertising dapat ilagay nila dun na yung mga qualifications works experiences or training. Pero yung training is minimum lang siya. The interview. Applicant forms are first skin employer should use in deciding whom to hire. A typical application form will include the applicant's employment history, education level, and conviction record, if any. If the applicant passes the initial screen, the organization will most likely schedule an interview to determine if the information on the application checkouts, that is, they will seek to determine if the applicant seems to fit the organization. See if the candidate is really committed to service excellence and tell the candidate what the job is actually like. So, dito kapag nakapasa na sila ng application form, syempre, gagawa na sila ng schedule para sa interview nila para ma-check ng company or ma-determine yung information nila sa application form. So, pag na-determine na nila yung information ng applicants, titignan nila kung fit ba siya sa position na to, na ibibigay sa kanya kung kaya niya ba or hindi. Kasi baka mamaya, pag pinasok siya tapos hindi naman pala niya kaya. So, sayang yung opportunities sa iba na gusto makapasok. At syempre, tinitignan din nila kung talagang magaling at mahusay ba. At dito nila sasabihin kung anong work yung gagawin at ibibigay sa kanila. So, common na rin naman yung mga interview like sa pag-a-apply ng mga trabaho. And then, sa pag-a-apply ng trabaho, kahit saan ka mag-apply, nakakalas ka ng interview, di ba? Like, bago ka nila i-hire. At minsan, sa interview, pare-pareho lang yung mga tinatanong like, tell me about yourself and why you're interested in or qualified for this job. So the interview is the most common management to select employees. Research, however, has also known it is often the least accurate. So not surprisingly, the accuracy of an interview is largely determined by how well it's planned, how consistently it is used when interviews make up questions as they go along, have no predetermined way to score applicants or rely purely on they are conducting what is called an unstructured interview. Probing questions, tell me about yourself and why you're interested in or qualified for this job, can add valuable information but can also yield information that differs in quality and amount from candidate to candidate because of interviewer differences in ability to ask and interpret appropriate questions. So, dito nga, like, pare-pareho lang yung mga tinatanong nila, like, tell me about yourself and why interested in or qualified for this job. Pero, minsan nagdadagdag din sila ng mga iba't iba pang tanong. So, that training, interviewers can be overly influenced by their own mood, the activeness of the candidate, personal bias, and the quality of the candidate interview test before. And most writers believe that interviewing should follow a structured pattern. Structured interviews increase the likelihood that interviewers will assess all candidates according to the same criteria. So, ayan, mostly yung mga writers is naniniwala na yung pag-interview is may structured pattern na. And then, yung structured viewers kasi is nagpapataas ng possibilities na lahat ng interviewers ay ma-assess lahat ng applicants ayon sa same criteria nga. A properly designed and administered structured interview ensures that the questions are job-related, consistently scored, and asked of all candidates. Research shows that such interviews can be valid predictors of job performance. And so, syempre sa structured interview, syempre yung mga tanong dapat related sa trabaho. Alangan, nag-a-apply ka tapos yung mga tanong naman sa'yo, like, what is your favorite color, which is like ganun-ganon na hindi naman related sa trabaho. So, dapat related sa trabaho yung mga tanong. And dito, tinatanong din nila yung mga past experience mo. So, ayan. Sabi ko lang structured interview will include questions that address past experience, work competencies, willing to do the job as designed, and commitment to service. So, dito tinatanong din nila yung mga past experience mo, yung mga kakayahan mo sa trabaho, like, and yung pagiging willingness mo na gawin yung trabaho na ina-assign sa'yo. Kasi baka mamaya hindi ka willing tapos nag-apply ka. Like, syempre dapat, pag nag-apply ka, willing kang gawin lahat ng trabaho mo na ina-assign sa'yo. Structured interview because past performance is often the best predictor of the future performance. One who would ideally assess applicants' peer performance in order to make a hiring decision. So, dito madalas akala ng mga applicants is makakuha sila dahil may mga past experience na sila sa ibang trabaho. But unfortunately, hindi nila makagamit yung past experience na yun. And isang mahalagang paraan is lang kung paano po ma-assess yung applicant is kung paano siya mag-respond sa mga particular situations. For structured interviews to be successful, the interview question should be based on a carefully job analysis, and the question should be clearly related to specific case that you want in an employee. At structured interview, be it behavior or situational, involves more than just giving interviews the same set of questions and the same scoring sheet. In the hospitality industry, behavioral interviews are often the most effective way to assess applicants' qualifications on critical criteria. Behavioral interviewing is based on trying to specifically evaluate some instance of past performance to help predict future performance. So, sa hospitality industry, yung behavioral interviews is madalas na effective para masuri yung mga applicants. So, yung behavioral interviewing is batay sa pagsubok na particular na suriin yung mga past performance ng mga applicants para makatulong na ma-predict po yung future nila. Hindi tulad sa mga ibang company na nag-i-interview na ang yung mga tanong lang sa mga applicants is mga common lang na mga tanong. So, ayan. So, unlike most interview in which applicants get questions like tell me about yourself and what are your strengths and weaknesses, behavioral interviews try to capture past behavior performance. So, ayan. Hindi nga tulad sa mga ibang company na nag-interview is yung mga tanong nila is like mga ganyan. Tell me about yourself and what are your strengths and weaknesses. Like, sobrang common na ng mga tanong nila. So, pa-next po muna. They might include questions like, give me an example of how you help to resolve a customer's problem, or tell me about the time when you had to make an unpopular decision and the consequences of your choice. So, yung behavioral interviews is, dito kinakapture nila yung mga past nila. Like, tinatanong dito is yan, ayan nga, give me an example, like, etc. So, ayan, ganyan po yung mga, para maging unique yung mga ibang questions. Ganyan yung dinadagdag nila about sa mga, para mag-collect ng information sa applicant. Next.
Okay, sige. Before we proceed to the next topic. Okay, i-sum up lang natin yung yung topic na interview. Okay? So sabi ni Miss Magno kanina, interview is the most important. Tama ba? The most important process or step or procedure when hiring an applicant. Alright? Kasi dito natin well, to tell you honestly, one of my jobs here in the company is being the HR manager. So, nag-interview din ako ng mga applicants for the position that is available in the organization. And so may maraming strategy available when it comes to interviewing an applicant para mas makilala natin yung nag-a-apply. Hindi lang yung basta mag-hire tayo, na scan na natin o na-collect na natin lahat ng mga applicants. Okay? Nabasa na natin lahat ng mga resume and curriculum vitae nila. But ang make or break ng hiring process is the interview. Doon natin malalaman if nagsasabi ba ng totoo itong nag-a-apply or hindi. And also, doon din natin malalaman kung ano bang klaseng empleyado itong nag-a-apply sa atin. So, merong iba't ibang procedure na na-discuss si Ms. Magno. Number 1 is the unstructured interview. Free-flowing lang yun. Kumbaga, para lang may mga random questions ka and then kung ano yung sumagi sa isip mo na itanong dito sa nag-a-apply na to is yun lang din yung tatanungin mo or magba-base ka dun sa nakasulat sa resume niya. For example, tell me something about yourself. Para lang malaman natin on how this person or how this applicant tell story about him or herself or what makes you qualified in this position. Alright. Also, meron din tinatawag na structured interviews. In-ensure dito yung questions related sa trabaho, consistency scored. Doon, papipredict na nung hiring manager if this person or this employee is qualified for this job. So doon din sa topic na behavioral interview are often the most effective way to assess applicants' qualification on critical criteria. Sa tingin nyo, bakit kaya? Ano ba yung sinasabing behavioral interview?
From the word behavior, sir, sa galaw po ng isang.
Kumbaga, it's more of the situational problem solving. Face-to-face question. Okay, yan. Magbibigay ako ng situation. Paano mo i-handle yan? Okay? Sabi nga, it is the most effective way to assess applicants' qualification. Kasi doon makikita ni hiring manager on how this applicant use his or her critical thinking. Kasi there are a lot of permutation or a lot of ways to answer this behavioral interview. Okay? So si hiring manager ma-determine niya kung tama ba or may mali ba or may much better bang way to answer to this particular behavioral interview or question. Okay, so that is the process of the interview. Hindi lang yan. Yes po.
Saan po papasok yung question na bakit ka nag-resign sa past na trabaho mo?
That's also a behavioral question. For example, may bibigyan kita ng situation, Miss Gadia, ha? Okay lang ba? O gusto mong ipasa kay Miss Magno? Since sa kanya naman to.
Pagkakayanin yung sagot.
Okay, sige. Ito yung for example, ikaw yung ito yung situation mo. Nag-resign ka doon sa previous work mo because ang sama ng ugali nung boss mo, no? Lagi kang pinapahiya, ganyan, or hindi ka binibigyan ng promotion, ang baba ng sahod mo, and then ako nag-open ako ng position, same ng position mo, okay? Same position ng pinag-resignan mong company, okay? And then I ask you, why did you resign to your previous employer and applying in my company, in our company? How will you respond to that? O, question ko na lang yung sa inyong tatlo. Sige nga. Paano nyo yung
Paulit
sasagot? Hala, uulitin pa. Hindi. Nagpuputol-putol ka.
Sasagot, sir.
Sino si Miss Mag yung sasagot? O ikaw, Miss Clemente?
Ano po? Parang, pwede po yung sagot na, pwede po. Ito po yung sasagot ko, sir. I am looking for new challenges at work and looking for a better career prospects and professional growth and work opportunities po yan.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Miss Magno? How will you respond to that question?
Siguro po parang mas maglo-look focus sa better treatment. Wala na.
Okay. Sige.
Kasi,
Sige, kasi ikaw, Miss Gadya, sasalita na siya.
Kasi, di ba po kasi pag ano po, sir po ang manager, dapat putihan mo yung trabaho mo.
Okay. So, anong sasabihin mo dun sa nag-i-interview sa'yo?
Kung maganda po yung ano po niya, kung maganda
Offer.
po
Maganda yung offer.
yung parang maganda po yung ano po niya sa akin, approach. Parang hindi po niya po
Oo, sige na. Hindi namin maintindihan. Ano daw?
Pwede po paulit ng situation po.
Okay, ang situation mo is ganito. Galing ka sa previous employer mo, and your main reason why you resign is because masama ugali ng boss mo, hindi ka binibigyan ng promotion, sometimes pinapahiya ka, and then you decided na mag-resign na lang and then look for another job, and here I am na nag-open ng same position na pinag-resignan mo, and then I ask you during the interview, what is your reason? Why did you resign to your previous interview? From your previous work?
Kasi po may aspects po kasi kapag sinabi mo yung totoo, sir, parang maapektuhan yung di ba yung in terms of behavioral interview. Parang maiisip nung nag-interview sa'yo na what if dumating din yung time na ganito, hindi mo rin ma-handle, parang gano'n.
Yeah, that's correct. Okay? So, kapag mga ganyan na i-interviewin ka and you are in that situation, okay, you shouldn't be saying anything bad or against doon sa iyong previous employer. Okay? Kasi it will reflect to your personality and behavior. If comes the time na ikaw naman yung magiging employer niya, no? Or kapag so ibig sabihin kapag pinahirapan ko din to or kapag hindi ko din to binigyan ng promotion, ganito din, sisiraan din ako sa mga ibang ano. So magre-reflect yun sa personality and behavior mo as a previous employee of that company. Okay?
So, work competencies. The second group of questions that should be included as structured interview are those related to work competencies. So, yung work competencies, ito yung second group ng mga questions na kasama sa mga structured interview na related sa trabaho. So, dapat yung mga tanong is related at connected sa trabaho. And para mas makatulong sa pag-evaluate ng mga characteristics ng isang applicant. So, example nga dito is yung interviewer nagtanong sa hotel front desk about sa procedures ng pag-check-in at pag-check-out. So, bali yung hotel nila is gumagamit sila ng customized systems at very dirty. So, nag-iiba-iba sila ng routine. Pero yung procedures nila or steps sa pag-check-in at pag-check-out is kapareho lang sa ibang hotel. So, dito batay sa tama at maling sagot ng candidate sa mga tanong ay related pa rin sa trabaho. So, ayan. Next po. And doing the job as designed, the third part of structured interview should assess the candidate's willingness to do the job as it is designed. The interviewer might ask questions about such aspect of the job as the applicant's willingness to work overtime, long shifts, or weekends. Many hospitality workers have to work when others do not. If candidates can or won't be available when needed, they are probably not a good fit. So, dito naman sa third part ng structured interview, so dito dapat sinusuri nila na mabuti kung willing ba talaga yung tao na to na gawin yung trabaho na ibibigay sa kanya. Like, ayun, willing ba siya sa trabaho na to? Willing ba siya mag-overtime? Willing ba siya mag-long shift, mag-night shift, or magtrabaho through weekends? Kasi kung hindi siya willing, ibang applicant na yung ipapasok nila kung sino yung willing na gawin yung mga trabaho na to. Psychology test. Psychologists have developed a variety of tests to distinguish one person from another along different dimensions. Tests of mental ability measure logical reasoning intelligence, conceptual foresight, ability to spot semantic relationships, spatial organization, memory span, and a number of other cognitive factors. Some measures of personalities and behavioral predispositions have also been developed and validated for use in the selection process. So, sa psychology test, dito tinatest muna nila yung mga mental ability nila, intelligence, and spatial organization, memory span, etc. So, sa pagtetest at pagsukat ng mga personality traits nila at behavior nila, ginagamit din nila yung pag-validated para sa pagpili ng mga applicants. Example dito is yung service orientation. So dito, nila sa mga yung service orientation sa mga matutulong, yung mga friendly na personality, yung tumutulong sa iba, ganon. And dito, sinusuro din nila dito yung mga integrity ng mga applicants, like baka masakot sila sa mga pagnanakaw or mga pwedeng magawi sa mga trabaho nila.
Actually, dyan sa sa psychological test, di ba kanina nabanggit ko na yung psychological test na yan. Dyan, merong, kaya nga mostly ng HR manager or yung mga member ng human resource management or human resource department. Okay, mga yan, psychology graduate yung mga yan. And so, sa psychological test na yan, measure nila, mapipredict nila on how this applicant behave. Okay? How this applicant will perform to their organization. Yun lang. Next.
Yeah, personality traits. Managers often talk about hiring the right type of person for a job or someone with the right disposition, so it should be no surprise that some employers try to assess the personalities of applicants in order to make better hiring decisions. So, yung personality traits managers is madalas napag-uusapan sa bagay ng mga applicants para sa isang trabaho. And dito dapat inaalam mo na yung mga personality ng isang tao kung dapat or karapat dapat ba to i-hire sa company, no? Next, so dito may 5 dimensions. So yung una is yung extroversion. Extroversion, the degree to which someone is talkative, sociable, active, aggressive, and excitable. So, dito dapat madaldal ka. Ayan, friendly, active, sigla. Para madali mo makikat yung mga tao, mga customers. Kasi kung mahayaan ka, wala. So, agreeableness. The degree to which someone is trusting, amiable, generous, tolerant, honest, cooperative, and flexible. So, ayan, dito naman sa agreeableness, so dapat dito katiwala ka, ganon, honest ka, mabait, pagbigay, ganon. Conscientiousness, the degree to which someone is dependable and organized, conforms to the needs of the job, and perseveres on tasks. So, ayan, dito maasahan ka, syempre, and organized, consensusness. So, ayan, dito maasahan ka, and organized, and, ayun, dapat kumaan ka sa mga needs ng mga trabaho, and dapat nagpupursige ka, nagsisikap ka sa mga gawain mo sa trabaho mo. Hindi yung tamad-tamad. Emotional stability. The degree to which someone is secure, calm, independent, and autonomous. Ayan, dapat kalmado lang. And yung independent ka dapat, hindi yung talagang umaasa sa ibang tao. So, sa openness to experience, the degree to which someone is intellectual, philosophical, insightful, creative, artistic, and curious. So, ayan. But matalino at mausisa ka dapat sa pagtatrabaho. Cognitive ability. While many managers think personality is the best predictor of job performance, in fact, decades of research has shown that cognitive ability may be the best. And research has shown that the general mental ability can account for up to 1/3 the variance in performance ratings for complex managerial jobs and up to 16% of the variance in performance for less complex semi-skilled positions. GMA's ability to learn and process information. In part, GMA influences performance because it affects how quickly one can acquire the knowledge and skills needed to perform the requirements of this position. So sa cognitive ability, when you say cognitive, it is about the knowledge manipulation of information and reasoning. So pagdating pa sa pag-apply for work, some managers iniisip na ang pinaka the best for knowing the applicant for accepting an applicant is knowing their personalities kasi pagdating sa trabaho, syempre kailangan alamin yung kung capable ba yung applicant for this job or for this position or does she can able to adjust in the new environment. So GMA, yung general mental ability of a person ay isa sa mga pinakamahalaga pagdating sa pag-a-apply sa trabaho kasi yun yung isa sa mga tinitignan ng mga manager. Gusto nilang alamin if you are able to learn easily and kung a-adapt mo ba agad to. Kasi kung ikaw yung manager or owner of company, siyempre mas gugustuhin mo ang mga employee mo ay bihasa or magagaling. Ayun. So it is about the sake of the company. Integrity test. Integrity tests predict the predisposition of the job applicants to engage in thief, drug taking, and dishonest or otherwise disruptive work behaviors. So sa integrity test, prediction or instinct lang ang labanan kasi some of job applicants ay hindi nagsasabi ng totoo. Dito, aalamin kasi dito sa test na ito kung na-involve na ba yung person na to na nag-apply sa mga bagay na karuma-duma like pagnanakaw, drugs, at sa mga hindi nagawa tama sa other company na pinagtatrabuhan niya and others. So sometimes yung mga job applicants na galing sa ibang trabaho nagkakaroon ng paper for recommendations if wala ka namang issue na gawa sa previous company. So also the integrity test is a must. Sobrang need siya every company para ma-preserve ang kaayusan sa kanilang pagtatrabaho. So ayun, dapat totoo ka at katiwala. Assessment centers. An assessment centers is a battery of tests that are used to measure the KSA of a group of individuals. These can be used either for the purpose of selecting individuals for higher level position or a tool to help develop the participant careers. So next po muna. Assessment centers often include interview, psychological testing, and a variety of exercise involving administrative tasks, group exercises, cases, analysis, and managerial exercise. So yung assessment center, ito yung usual na way kung saan inaalam yung KSA, means knowledge, skills, and abilities ng applying employee. So through assessment center, malalaman kung anong angkop na posisyon or tama ba yung posisyon na ina-apply ng isang applicant. Dito mapapansin mo sa mga job interview maraming process before matanggap ka sa isang company or sa pinag-a-applyan mo. Merong interview, psychological testing, and yung practice or training. Siyempre, hindi lang magpo-focus sa specific na KSA. I-measure din yung mga key steps or yung mga nakapaloob sa KSA like yung mga organizing and planning, problem solving, job influencing others, and consideration, and yung awareness of the others. Reference, background checks, and drug tests. It is also a fairly common practice to check a candidate's reference. This may involve soliciting letters of recommendation, calling former employers, or requesting from candidates names of individuals who can attest their character. So, sa reference background checks and drug tests. So, common na to sa pag-check ng mga reference ng mga candidates. Kabilang din dito yung mga recommendation, calling former employees, or requesting from candidates name na nakakapagpatunay sa mga personality nila. So, ayun, since karamihan sa mga tao is para mag-provide ng reference mula sa mga individuals na magsulat ng maganda para sa kanila. Yung reference is usually hindi mabibigyan ng maraming pakinabang ng information, and kapag yung isang binigyan na reference is parang mas tarpaan kung peke yung pangalan na binigay sa reference, mali na isa na tong potential problem. And so syempre yung skill manager is maghahanap pa rin ng mga specific examples sa reference na makapagpatunay sa KSA at iba pang mga kailangan para sa trabaho. Next po. Next pa. So the fourth step, hire the best applicants. After all the information has been collected on potential applicants, selecting the right people from the applicants becomes the next critical step in ensuring that the company gets the employees who will provide the level of service that the organization expects. While finding and hiring the right people is challenging for all organizations, it is especially difficult for the hospitality industry. So the difference between a good and a great guest experience is so often the indefinable extra that the employee adds to experience. Finding, hiring, training, and rewarding the employee who happily and naturally gives that the extra effort is one of the biggest challenges for hospitality organization. So sa fourth step po is, pagtapos mag-collect po ng mga information sa mga potential applicants, next naman is pagtapos po mag-collect ng mga information sa mga potential applicants po, next naman is pagpili po ng tamang tao mula sa mga applicants for the company. And etong next steps na po is tinitiyak or sinisigurado na makukuha nilang empleyado. Buwan nila yung empleyado na mabibigay ng antas ng service sa company nila. And yung paghahanap ng mga applicants is hindi madali, lalo na sa industry ng hospitality. So sa hospitality industry ay may mga extra challenge sa pag-ensure ng mga employees na una sa panay na kinukuha nila ay hindi lang may kakayahan para magawa yung mga nakasanayan sa gawain, pero meron ding interpersonal skills na kailangan para maging successful na nangipag-unayan sa mga guests at ang mga creative skills para ayusin yung mga hindi may iuwasang failures sa service. And yung pinakamalaking challenge sa hospitality organizations is yung paghahanap ng applicants na magaling, yung professional, yung pag-hire ng employee na nagbibigay ng dagdag na pagsisikap sa trabaho. Dahil na sa pandemic ngayon, sobrang hirap talaga maghanap ng best applicants for company. So the fifth step, make the new hire feel welcome. So dito syempre pag may new employee kayo, Once the job offer is made and the selected applicant hired, the staffing process may seem to be complete. Indeed, many companies think and act this way too. So, dito sa fifth step naman, so dito syempre, pag may new employee, dapat ipafeel nyo na welcome sila, na na hindi yung opo. Pero more on kasi minsan pag bago ka lang pina-fluffy, hi, ganyan. Sobrang bait sa una, tapos nung mga tagal-tagal na, sungit-sungit na sa'yo, ganyan. So, dapat ipafeel nyo pa rin sa kanila na welcome sila hanggang sa makatagal sila doon. Hindi yung minsan mamaliitin nyo pa kasi ayan, bago lang. Dapat paramdam nyo agad na part na rin sila ng as family sa company nyo. So, ayun, as a new hire, dapat i-guide nyo din sila sa mga gagawin nila kasi first time lang nila ganun. And next natin. Next na. Sa 6 na. Ayan, the 6 steps on turnover selecting people out of an organization. Although you must expend significant time, money, and effort to hire people into your company, turnover is an inevitable part of business, and particularly in the hospitality industry. While selection is usually considered as the process of choosing employees from a pool of applicants, turnover can also be seen as selection of a sort. While those acquired are selected into the company, those leaving the company are essentially selected out of the company's workforce. While many companies give a lot of attention to the process of selecting people into the company, the process of turnover is often less strategically managed. If you know it isn't a good idea to hire randomly, why would you leave the process of turnover up to the chance? So, yung turnover is hindi maiiwasan sa isang business, lalo na sa hospitality industry. So, habang pagpili is karaniwang tinuturo nila bilang process na pagpili ng mga employees. Ang turnover is pwede ring makita bilang pagpili ng mga applicants or employees. Pero habang yung mga
Well, actually, yung turnover na sinasabi is that it's the process of changing or parang transferring the power from the outgoing employee, yung magre-resign na, and the incoming employee na bagong hire pa lang. Okay, so yun yung turnover na tinatawag. No? Siyempre, kaya ka nga nag-open ng isang position, it's because may magiging vacant ang position na yon. Usually, ang mga nagre-resign or nagre-resign, meron niyang the most 1 month notice. Okay, so at least merong 1 month process si Human Resource Department to look for the right person na papalit doon unless terminated yung papalitan. Okay, kapag resign, so usually yan 1 to 2 weeks before umalis yung papalitan, nagkakaroon yun ng dalawa sila na duty to properly turn over all the files, all the pending works, mga ganon. Or in the event naman na terminated or what do you call this? Kick out, hindi kick out expelled, okay? Or um, ah, ayun, tinanggal sa trabaho yung yung vacant position or yung employee, kaya naging vacant yung position, okay? Yung turnover is very hard na sinasabi. It's because yan, for example, terminated, immediate termination, the following day, hinire ka. Okay? Kumbaga, bibigay sa iyo kung ikaw yung hinire na na employee, bagong employee, ibibigay sa iyo lahat ng pending without any turnover na nangyari. Okay? Yung basta lang ibabagsak sa ano mo, sa ibabagsak na lang sa table mo na ito lahat ng trabaho mo, ito yung iniwan nung pinalitan mo. Okay, so that is how crucial ang turnover na sinasabi, ha. Okay, next.
So next is employing the best to serve your guests. To provide excellent service, the organization needs employees with the right knowledge, skills, abilities, and attitudes. To get the right people, the company needs to know what to look for, where to recruit talented workers, and the right ways to collect. Next po. The information on job applicants. Successful staffing depends on a clear understanding of what the jobs require and of the personal characteristics that leads to success in this position. So dito, para magkaroon ng excellent service, kailangan yung mga employees na kukunin is may sapat na kaalaman or kasanayan or kakayahan. So syempre, para makakuha at makahanap ka ng ganong employee, kailangan malaman ng company kung ano yung hahanapin nila sa isang tao at kung saan nila hahanapin yung pag-recruit ng workers. And ang tamang way para mag-collect ng information sa mga applicants para maging successful. So ayan staffing is the first step in having the right human resources within your company to provide the level of service that you want to give your customers, but it is only the beginning. So hiring the best does not necessarily mean that the employees will perform the best, although it certainly does help. Employees need to be trained in how to do their jobs, and they need to be motivated to perform their jobs well. These two tips are the focus of the new chapter. So yung staffing po is first step siya para magkaroon ng right human resources sa loob ng company. Para makapagbigay ng level of service na gusto mong ibigay sa mga customers mo. So ang pag-hire na magaling or mosahi is hindi nangangahulugan na ang mga empleyado is dapat sobrang husay din sa gawain. Like, syempre hindi naman siguro lahat ng tao is dapat magaling sa lahat ng bagay. Syempre may mga filler din naman tayo na nagagawa. And syempre kailangan yung mga empleyado is dapat sinasanay kung paano nila gawin yung mga trabaho nila. And kailangan, syempre motivated sila at iniisip nila na, dapat kailangan ko itong gawin para sa family ko. Dapat kalingan ko to para ganun, mabayaran ko sila mama at papa ng ganyan. And dapat, ginagampanan mo yung trabaho mo. Hindi yung sa iba mo pinapagawa yung trabaho mo, which is hindi naman tama. Like, ikaw na nga dito, ganun. Kasi hindi ko kaya. That ikaw gumagawa ng trabaho na binigay sa'yo. Okay na po, sir.
Okay na po.
Padayon.
So thank you very much para makatulog na rin kayo. Okay? So again, congratulations. Well done.
Thank you,
Thank you
sir.
po.
Thank you. Sige na, pwede na kayo matulog.
Good night, sir.
Good night.
Good night po.
Bye-bye.
Good night.